All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Or keeps you. And we've developed over the last 40, 50 years a poverty mindset. And what does a poverty mindset? Does that mean you have no money? No. It means that you're looking at things from the I gotta look good special. Everybody has to look good. And that's been a big thing in our, you know, we don't want we don't want people to know our business. But especially today, everybody is going to know your business because everybody put their business out on the street. And family, things that were in families are now being on the internet. And we look at it, we laugh, we judge, we saying, that father was a piece of crap, that mother was a piece of crap. But if you really, really think about it, y'all know somebody that went through that back in the day, but that wasn't really talked about. Family was, everybody was about family, and we did family things. Um, you got to remember that as we all, America was very mobile back in the early 1900s. My great uncle Richard moved um, from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. He took his sister Naomi, and they moved to California. My great grandfather stayed he moved to New York City. A few of the other siblings, like Nicole's great grandfather, stayed in Philadelphia. So there was movement, but then as those generations went down in generations, people spread farther apart to where, you have relatives, but I'm gonna say this, and this might be controversial, it might be kind of messed up, but all relatives ain't family. And you're not always related to your family. That's what it comes to these days, because there's some of us that share DNA, but that's about it. You know, we got family members that wouldn't pee on us if we was on fire, and that's the only thing they had to do. They wouldn't even do that. But we're related. And that's one of those things that that's kind of broken our families, because we don't have that cohesiveness, because we don't see the need, because everybody's doing their own thing. Um, Chocolate Pearl, my favorite girl, she's here tonight, one of my co-hosts. Love her to death, and also big time Dabs and Miss Andrine, always ready, always willing, always able. Chocolate Pearl, you know how we grew up, and you know how things went. So what is your take on the state of the Black family today?
Hey, y'all. Good to see y'all. Um, okay, I'm gonna just punk families. And what I mean by that is a lot of softness in the development of how we raise these children. I've always said before that this generation complains about is insulted, complains about everything and insulted by everything, but scared of nothing in a sense. But when it comes down to how we raise our children, we allow our children to dictate what their lives should be as soon as they come out. And we don't raise them like they raised us back in the day. And I was hearing you talk about how uh, couples stay together because of, and if you didn't have it, that's when the man felt that he wasn't a man, so he left. Um, Here it is that women today are so much into the head of the household role that they're so independent that I think that's the reason why our society is the way it is, because us women decide we want to make sure that we're the head of the household and let everybody know that we're the head of the household. I don't care what you got between your legs. Us women are the head of the household, and then but we're sitting there complaining about how we raise our boys and how we raise our girls, and that's how I feel. And this is just the opinion of Tawana, the chocolate pearl, no one else. I just feel that I see this going on a regular basis with a lot of the uh, younger generations, how they're raising their children, and they feel that their children are at no fault. They can do something bad right there in your face, and you still say they're not at fault. It's just, back then we grew up, DFG, we grew up where the village raised us, not just our parents. The village felt that they was responsible for us, and that could be a reason why that could be a reason why we are where I'll get it out. We are where we are at now because of we grew up with village. Today's society, you don't grow up with a village. They don't even know what a village is. The people who go down the wrong way, their village that they create is a gang. But even with that gang, they stick together. They stand strong together. This new generation doesn't stand strong together. If they catch an attitude, they out. They don't want to hold a relationship. They'll get married one day, and 2 weeks later, they in divorce court.
Yeah.
Like you said, over a piece of bacon. It's with this generation is soft. They don't know how to stand strong. They don't know how to try to work it out. I'm not saying that you're supposed to stay with somebody that's abusing you. Heck no. But I'm talking about if somebody's upset with you because you drank up all the milk and didn't replace it, and then you're arguing about it, then next thing you know, y'all divorced over some milk.
But that's what happens. People don't have that staying power, and the state makes it easy for us to break our commitments. Commitments is not something that's talked about. The only thing you're supposed to be committed to paying those doggone student loans. That's the only thing you should be committed to. Everything else, nah. Marriage, children are accessories. Marriage is something to do because
yes. Nowadays, something to do.
People want to get married.
Because they want to have that big wedding, that big party. Yeah. They want to show off how much they got at that time. When I got married the first time, and I stayed married for 23 years. And when I got married the first time, I did it on a budget. I did it on the budget because I kept telling people, this is just one day. I have my entire life to be with this person. And, we got bills. We got other things to do. We can't just spend it on one day trying to show off. I mean, I'm going to use this as an example. Look at these celebrities out here. Lavish weddings, theme weddings, Yeah, not just celebrities, but I'm just using that because I know a lot of people see these particular weddings being displayed where I'm going to use Portia Williams as an example. She had like 3 weddings in just to one guy because of the culture and how much, and the money that they spent, and they didn't even stay married, not even 2 years. And they give up really quick. I mean, granted, I think she should have gotten, divorced, but she should have at least got to know that person. But that's a whole nother topic.
Well, but what I'm saying, and I used to say back when I was in college, I said, if men stuck to their wives like they stuck to their favorite sports team, they probably pick a lot better. If women,
yeah,
if women,
now we pick. A lot of the people pick their mates based on, like you said, their social status or their financial status. Yeah, that financial status, a long, long, long history of that. But now it's definitely true 100% financial status, to where if you ain't got a certain credit score and a certain bank account amount, they don't even want to date you.
Yeah,
They're not
and I was
going
going
to
to
give you a
say
chance.
about the women, about women, if women would choose their men like they choose their hairdresser, I think y'all have a better track record. Because one thing I know about, especially sisters, y'all don't just let anybody up in your hair.
That's true. That's
You,
true.
if somebody tells me something different, if somebody can correct me, but y'all don't just let anybody get up in your hair.
No, you don't.
So, y'all need to vet those men like you vet the hairdresser. Cause y'all want references. Y'all be like, y'all hear word of mouth, but then y'all wanna see their portfolio and see how many complaints they got. It's like, she ain't touching my hair. So y'all don't even do that for babysitters. Y'all like
But do you know that they do all this search of their financial records, but they won't search if he's a criminal, or if he's a child abuser, if he's a woman abuser, or if she's,
that's exciting to them. You know how it is. We grew up around it. We grew up around it. Let me go to Miss Andrine for a second. Miss Andrine, how long have your parents been married?
They have been married. Oh my goodness. Probably at least, how old am I? At least 50 years. Well, yeah, I think at least as long as I've been around.
So, I mean, what was their secret to them? And did you look at your parents as a standard for marriage?
Ugh, that's hard. I don't know if there is a secret. I think looking at it before I got older, I think it was just I tend to think that's why I just picked. I think it was just like it was supposed to be. Like it I don't know, it was just like a thing. But now looking at it, I realize how much work it entails, I think, to commit. And I feel like after a certain time, it's almost like you're stuck out of, I don't know, some type of obligation. So I think marriage is such a different animal like right now, because I just think it's like different for me. And I think women back then, I think it was like expected and you stayed and you do what you needed to do. But I think now in the time of where there's definitely more like freedom and like you said, more, I don't know what it is. I just think it's different. I think men are different and women are different. I think I'm not gonna blame it all just on the women being able to
No,
handle
no,
it.
I didn't even. I trust me, I didn't even say it like that, and I understand. But you said something very interesting that I want to touch on for a second. You said it takes work, and going back to what Chocolate Pearl was saying, how these kids are soft. They'll spend all their time on that computer. They'll spend all that time on social media, but they won't put in the work for their relationship to improve it.
Fact.
So if you're not working, you're not building. You're not building, you're not getting the results you want. And then that's what happens. You wind up quitting. Go ahead, Andrew. You was about to say something.
I think I agree with that. And I think what it is I think it's the level of maturity and the level of struggle that it's somewhere in between what Chocolate Pearl is saying and what you just shared. It's like they are sort of kind of raised soft. It's like that instant gratification. So you don't build that capacity to like kind of manage the work it takes to sustain a relationship. Or
And,
you don't necessarily have that. I don't even know if it's a desire, but I just think, it's a little bit different. So I think it's a complicated thing, but I don't think the world is the same world it used to be when my parents got together and got married. And I think nowadays it's a lot of instant gratification and it's a lot of not wanting to put in the effort. And I think it's on both people's part. And I think it's also more of us looking for compatibility, even though I like when I hear about friends from different culture and Indian culture, how their marriages are just arranged and they kind of work. But I think that's also a cultural piece. And I think as a whole, American culture, Black culture, society as a whole is just looks at relationships so different where people don't necessarily put in the effort or want to.
You
Well,
said
when you said that, sorry, when you said that, it's just the fact that the different cultures, they didn't believe in instant or not instant. They didn't believe in not working things out. They stuck in there. So when they had arranged marriages, they knew that that was it. This is what you got. There wasn't no divorce situation. Today, like he said earlier, today is the fact that you have a microwavable relationship.
Right.
It's, you put it in there and you press the button and it heats up really quick. But guess what? If you don't eat it real quick, it goes cold.
I agree.
Because you work at it. But when you heat it up on the stove, what happens? It stays hot a little longer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You have to put some work in it.